Bisleri, the story from free water to a 7,000 crore rupees brand. At a railway station, a man troubled by the heat pulled out 20 rupees from his pocket and bought a bottle of water. He opened the cap, took 2 sips, and suddenly his friend laughed and said, "Brother, water is available for free at home." But those very 2 sips hid one of India's most amazing business stories. Because the thing which people considered a gift of nature, someone turned that very thing into trust, purity and convenience, and made a brand worth thousands of crores. The question is not how selling water began. The real question is, in a country like India where wells, taps, rivers and water stations were part of the culture, why did people get ready to spend money on bottled water? And an even bigger question, if water was free, what did Bisleri actually sell? Water, bottle, brand, or that fear that normal water might not turn out safe? Today startup founders talk about AI, apps and digital platforms. But in 1960s India, a man saw such an idea, hearing which people could literally consider madness. At that time, bottled water was like a luxury. Buying water was a strange thing for the common man, like buying air or taking sunlight on rent. But in the business world, the biggest opportunity is often hidden right where people say, how will money be made in this? Bisleri's story begins in Italy. The name was Italian, the taste was urban, and initially it was not India's mass brand, but a thing of elite hotels and restaurants. According to the official Bisleri profile, Parle Exports bought Bisleri from an Italian entrepreneur in 1969 and started selling mineral water in India. At that time, Ramesh Chauhan was young, but his thinking was on trust more than water. He was understanding that India was changing, cities were growing, travel was increasing, and worry of clean water was going to increase too. But the market was not ready. People asked, when water is free, why buy a bottle? This very question was the biggest challenge for Bisleri as well as the biggest opportunity. Because free water was everywhere, but safe water was not everywhere. There was water in the tap, but no trust. There was thirst on the journey, but doubt on the source. Right from here, the emotional business of bottled water began. Bisleri did not sell just water, it sold an assurance that this water is fit to drink. Initially, water was sold in glass bottles. It was expensive, heavy and limited, meaning there was a product but no scale. Then packaging changed, distribution changed, and the era of plastic bottles came in India. Suddenly carrying water became easy, reaching shops became easy, and consumer habits gradually started changing. But changing habits is not like turning on a machine. People have to be convinced first that the problem is real. People traveling, people staying in hotels, office workers, tourists, students, families, everyone had a common fear. Lest the stomach get upset. In that era, Bisleri captured a psychological space. When someone needed clean water, he did not say bottled water, he said give a Bisleri. This is the biggest victory of any brand. When the category name itself changes into the brand name. Just as a photocopy was called Xerox, similarly packaged water in India was called Bisleri for a long time. The shopkeeper understood too, the customer too. But behind this success was not just the name. The real game was of distribution. Water is a low-margin product, and in a low-margin product, the king becomes the one who can reach every lane. Bisleri created such a web of factories, distributors, trucks and retail networks that the brand reached not just big hotels, but up to the fridge of small shopkeepers. Today, Bisleri's identity is connected with purity and availability. The company talks about a 10-step purification process and quality tests on its website. But the twist in the story is here. A consumer never buys a bottle reading a lab report. He sees the green label on the shelf and trusts. This is the magic of the brand. Science works inside, but the decision happens outside from emotion. Ramesh Chauhan had not built just Bisleri earlier. In Parle's world, iconic soft drink brands like Thumbs Up, Limca, Gold Spot also came. Then in 1990, Coca-Cola returned to India and bought several of Parle's soft drink brands. But Bisleri survived. This decision proved to be very big later. Because soft drinks sold taste, but Bisleri could become a necessity. Urbanization increased in India, travel in trains and buses increased, offices and malls increased, food delivery and quick commerce came. Demands for packaged water quietly kept growing everywhere. Now water did not remain just a thing to quench thirst. It became a basic product of event management, hotel industry, corporate meetings, hospitals and highway economy. Thousands of bottles go to a wedding. Cartons open in a conference. Choice of water in a restaurant also becomes a brand image. And this is the place where a free thing suddenly becomes a paid ecosystem. Water can be free, but clean sourcing, Purification, bottling, transport, storage and trust are not free. According to Mordor Intelligence, the India bottled water market is around $9 billion in 2026 and is estimated to reach $15 billion by 2031. Meaning, this is not just the story of a bottle, this is the story of that society where people have started paying money for convenience and safety. But an uncomfortable question arises from this too. Is the growth of bottled water India's progress or a failure of public water trust? Because if every citizen got safe drinking water everywhere, would bottled water become such a big market? This question shows the social reality hidden behind Bisleri's success. Business-wise, if seen, Bisleri is brilliant. Seen through a social lens, it is a warning too that if trust breaks in a basic necessity, private brands fill the space rapidly. This is the reason why Bisleri's story is so powerful. It closes capitalism, hygiene, urban India and public infrastructure all in one bottle. Then in 2022, suddenly headlines came that Bisleri could be sold. The brand which led the market for decades could perhaps go into the hands of the Tata Group. Reuters reported in 2022 that Ramesh Chauhan admitted sale talks with the Tata Group. Later in 2023, Tata Consumers said that talks have ended and no definitive agreement took place. Reported valuation was stated up to around 7,000 crore rupees. This number got stuck in the public imagination. People were surprised that the brand which started by selling free water, how could its price be so much? But the buyer was not buying water. The buyer wanted to buy brand recall, distribution network, consumer trust and category leadership. For a group like Tata, packaged water is not just a bottle but part of the consumer basket. Salt, tea, coffee, food, water, health, all fit in a larger FMCG story. Giants like Reliance are also aggressive in beverages and retail. When big groups take interest in a category, it means that the future of the market is looking big. But the deal ultimately did not happen. And then a new twist came. Jayanti Chauhan's name started coming forward. Ramesh Chauhan's daughter Jayanti Chauhan is now connected with Bisleri's growth story. In reports it was said earlier that she has less interest in business, but later she was seen changing that very leadership frame. In many family businesses, the real challenge is not money but succession. The founder built an empire, but in which direction the next generation will take it, this very thing decides the future. The challenge before Jayanti Chauhan is not easy. She is handling a brand which is a household name but competition is more aggressive than before. Kinley, Aquafina, Railneer, Bailey, Himalayan, Tata Water Plus and several regional brands are present in this market. There are local bottled water players in every city too. And this is the trickiest part of the packaged water industry. The product looks the same but brand trust sells at different levels. While picking up a bottle, a consumer many times does not compare taste. He sees label, seal, shop and price. He just needs this certainty that the water is safe. But in 2026 another problem came. According to Reuters, rising packaging cost brought pressure on bottled water prices in India, and major players like Bisleri were affected too. Here the story flips again. More than the cost of water, the cost of bottle, cap, label, transport and oil-linked plastic affects business. Meaning the product which looks simple like water is actually connected to the global supply chain. Middle East oil shock can make India's water bottle expensive. Now think, on one side consumer says it's just water. On the other side company sees that purification, packaging, diesel, distributor margin and retailer margin all have to be added. That's why Bisleri is not just a water company, it is an operations company. Its real moat is the ability to deliver bottles to every shop. In the morning a crate comes to a small shop. The shopkeeper keeps it in the fridge. In the afternoon an office worker buys it. In the evening a traveler takes it. This very daily repeat business makes valuation. And in this repeat business, trust works more than advertisement. When heat feels intense, consumer does not debate. He picks up a known brand. Bisleri built this memory for decades. Green label, familiar bottle and signal of safe water. This looks simple, but building it is extremely difficult. Because trust has to be won not once, but in every bottle. One bad batch, one fake bottle, one broken seal and brand damage can happen. A problem like fake Bisleri was seen in the market too, where consumers were confused with similar sounding names. This is proof too that the brand became so valuable that people started copying it. Now the real revelation is that Bisleri did not make free water a paid product. It turned uncertainty into certainty. The customer does not pay money for water. He pays money to avoid that fear lest the water be bad. This logic took bottled water to train stations, hospitals, highways and schools. Where trust is low, demand for branded water is high there. But in the future, Bisleri will have to face not just bottles, but the question of sustainability too. Plastic waste, recycling and environmental responsibility are now part of consumer conversation. The company has run campaigns on recycling and responsible plastic use, but for the packaged water industry, this pressure will grow continuously. In the future, victory will be achieved by that brand which along with purity will win the trust of the planet too. Just safe for me will not be enough, safe for environment will be asked too. And this could be the big test of the Jayanti Chauhan era. Will Bisleri be able to turn old trust into new age responsibility? Because the Gen Z consumer does not see just a brand. He sees source, plastic, ethics, transparency and digital convenience too. Online delivery, subscription models, large cans, premium water and hydration products, all these are expanding the market. Bisleri now has to remain strong not just in shops, but in apps and homes as well. From right here, this story becomes a big lesson for startup founders. That a new idea look futuristic always is not necessary. Sometimes solving an old problem in a reliable way also makes a billion-rupee business. Jayantilal and Ramesh Chauhan's family saw a market in water, while people were seeing just a free resource there. This is entrepreneur vision. An entrepreneur sees what rest of the people ignore. People see water, he sees trust deficit. People see a bottle, he sees a distribution network. Today when someone opens a Bisleri bottle, he perhaps never thinks that behind it is a journey from Italy to India, glass to PET, hotels to Kirana shops. But this is the beauty of every successful brand. It becomes so normal in consumer life that its struggle becomes invisible. Bisleri's story tells us this as well, that businesses built on basic needs in India can be most powerful if there is reliability and scale in them. Food, water, health, education, finance, mobility, these categories do not sound flashy, but in these lies hidden the deepest demand. And perhaps because of this, big companies do not take a category like Bisleri lightly. They know that water consumption in India is not just a daily habit, but a permanent need. Now the last question remains. Is Bisleri's real worth 7,000 crore rupees, market share, factories, or is it that one word which sat in people's minds as safe water? Perhaps the answer lies in this. The biggest property of any brand is not a factory, it is consumer memory. When a child goes to a shop and says, "Uncle, give one Bisleri," then he is not just asking for a bottle. He is repeating decades of brand promise. And this is the biggest payoff of this story. The thing which nature gave for free, Bisleri did not sell by packing it, it translated it into the language of trust. Water can be free, but trust is not free. And the one who understood this trust set up one of India's most iconic business stories.
If this video has taught you something new, or if you feel this information should reach more people, don't forget to like and share the video. Your small share can become valuable and useful information for someone else. If you have any questions related to this topic, or if you would like to share your opinion with us, be sure to write in the comment box. We read every question and suggestion from you, because your feedback inspires us to create better content. And if you want to keep receiving such interesting and reliable information about business, the economy, and the world in the future, then don't forget to subscribe to our channel GRT Business and also press the bell icon so that you get notifications of every new video directly. At GRT Business, we always strive to provide you with accurate, balanced, and reliable information. Our news and analysis are prepared based on information obtained from various news agencies, public sources, and public opinion. We make every effort to verify and validate each fact as much as possible. But in case of any possible error or dispute, the responsibility lies with the respective sources. Our only aim is to present you with a correct and trustworthy perspective so that you can understand any topic better.